Welcome to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Wendy. After I graduated with my master's in wellness management, I started my own company, T2 Coaching, Health, Fitness, and Sport.
And I'm Kirsten, an athlete, vegan, life coach, and girl mom, running a business focused on helping others create a life they love.
We are here to explore all things wellness to help you become the person you've always wanted to be.
So if that's why you're here, open your ears and your mind as we tackle the world of wellness together. Hey, everybody. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Kirsten. What was your wellness win? I want you to go first this week.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll tell you my wellness win is huge because late last night, I found out that my race this weekend is canceled, which is why I'm at my house recording this and not on the road like we had originally planned. And first of all, I'm so grateful because my friend Ashley sent me a text and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your race." And I'm like, what about my race? Like, I had no idea. And I'm so glad she texted me because they sent out an email, but I don't check my email at night. So I would have got home from work last night, packed up my car, set my alarm for first thing this morning, and started driving.
What race was it?
The Las Vegas Triathlon.
So it wasn't like the T100 or anything like that?
No, because the T100 was already canceled.
Oh, so why was this one canceled?
Because apparently the government shut down and I'm so out of the loop. I actually had to Google. I asked ChatGPT what that even meant because I'm like, I don't even know what a government shutdown is and why would that affect a race? But it's because the race is at a national park.
Yeah.
And they shut down all the national parks. Apparently, yeah. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't even know what that means. So
I'll let you know. I'll let you know on when it's my turn.
So anyway, I was a little devastated. And all I wanted to do was get home and eat a bunch of food and stay up all night and binge a stupid show and feel sorry for myself because this is the best I've trained for a race all year. And I was really, really excited to race. But instead, I didn't really have any food in the house because I was getting ready to go out of town for 4 days. So I ate 2 protein bars and drank Shakeology. So my binge was pretty much a protein binge. It was kind of boring. I stayed up till 10 and then went to bed and woke up and I was like, apparently I'm supposed to be cleaning my house and getting my life back together instead of going and racing.
Yeah. That
was a huge wellness win because I was sad and it's a bummer because I really was like excited. I was like, I'm fully tapered. I've been sleeping. I've been prioritizing sleep and eating all the veggies and I feel I got a massage. I did all the things and I was just ready to go crush it.
Yeah.
So,
but now you're home. You got a free weekend.
Well, and do you know what's funny? So this is what I was thinking last night. Constantly, I'm either saying to myself or saying to somebody else, all I need is like a week with nothing planned so I can get caught up on life.
Right.
And now I have it.
Yeah, that's great. Yay. Congratulations.
So yeah, I know. So what about you? What's your wellness win?
So I have 2. The first one I'm going to say is I had a fabulous weekend at Augusta, Georgia, South Carolina. It's the race takes place in South Carolina and Georgia. This time it was more in the South Carolina section. It was North Augusta. And so I drove up Saturday and I was going anyways as a volunteer spectator coach. And on Monday I was asked, my friend Courtney was looking for someone to take her place in the swim. I jumped on it. So I got to do the swim part. And I was actually the 3rd swimmer for the team. The race was canceled last year because of the hurricane. So it was a pretty big deal. It was a lot of lead up into this year. And Courtney was swimmer number 2, and then she couldn't do it. So I got to do it. So that was fantastic. So that was a wellness win in itself. I had a blast, but my big wellness win was an athlete I coach. He's turned 70. I think his 70th birthday was today, but he races as a 70-year-old because of the rule.
Right.
And he qualified for Nice 70.3 World Championships. And he's super duper excited. And so that was a wellness win as a coach. And then a wellness win as an athlete is today, it's Thursday. And my friend Ann and I usually run and or bike hill repeats at Kennesaw Mountain National Park. And having the federal government being closed, I think it's been 2 days, she had texted me and reminded me, that we won't be able to ride because they're not going to open the gate to cars or cyclists, and the facilities, restrooms are going to be closed, but we could still go. And so I'm grateful that we were still able to go run. I ended up doing a long run today, and she met me just for a walk because she's recovering from her event. So I got to do my long run. I got to catch up with her, and, just being aware of the impact of the federal government closing means all federal employees are not working, except I've heard air transportation still has to work. So when the government's closed, if you work for the federal government, you don't work. I think this is when they're called furloughed. And then when the government opens back up, like right now, they're not getting paychecks. Like, let's say they're closed for a month, they won't get a paycheck for a month. But in the end, they backtrack and you end up getting paid for the month or so, however long the federal government is closed.
What if it's closed forever, though? You just work forever without getting paid?
I don't know if the federal government would ever be closed forever.
I know, but these are like weird things are happening these days.
Yeah. So anyways, so another wellness win happened at Augusta. I met a girl who was a local. She's like my ideal athlete. Hopefully she'll hire me to coach her. But I met her because I finished the swim and I had all my clothes in a dry clothes bag. And I'm like getting done. I'm about to take my wetsuit off. I take it halfway down and I'm like, okay, does anyone know where the dry clothes bag is? Because I have nothing. I have no shoes. I have no clothes. I'm in a swimsuit and I'm in a wetsuit. And no one knew what I was talking about. So I see this girl walking around with her wetsuit and I'm like, hey, did you do the team? My name's Wendy. I'm looking for the dry clothes bag. And she's like, oh my God, the dry clothes bag you won't get till after the race. And I'm like, I'm going to have to sit here for 8 hours in this. So it ended up, her and her husband put me in a golf cart. We golf carted down to the start of the swim, which is a mile away. Nothing was there, but we got the information that it had all been transported back to the finish line. Got back to the finish line, waited about 15 minutes, and then my dry clothes bag was one of the first bags that they pulled out. So that was grateful. But I'm grateful I met this new friend of mine because we just kind of kept texting each other all day. We met up because she had let me borrow a pair of shoes to walk around in. And we met up so I could give her shoes. But she was just really interested in my story as well as I was interested in her story about how she got into the sport. And she started asking me, which was kind of random. She was just so like impressed with what I've done and broken patella, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, she just randomly asked me, what time do you go to bed at night? which again leads into our topic of this podcast is recovery, sleep habits, sleep hygiene, etc. So it was just really, really kind of fun to talk to her about like the importance of sleep. And that I'm like, I pretty much go to bed between 9 and 9:30 and I wake up between 4:30 and 5 every day. And that's just a habit. My body just gets tired, gets really sleepy tired now between 8:30 and 9. It's ready to go to sleep. It's almost like I've just trained my body to go to bed at the same time. And my body always wakes up before the alarm, which is set at 5, but I'm usually up around 4:30. Sometimes I'm up and ready to go. Sometimes I'm like, oh, good, I get to lay here for another half hour.
Right.
But it was definitely like ironic that was the topic that we chose today. And so I just wanted to share that story.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why is she your ideal client?
Because she was interested in what I do as an athlete. And she was interested in my successes because she believes with the right path, she could be as successful as I am. And she asked me about coaching. I didn't even bring it up that I was a coach. She just based on the conversation. And so one aspect of an ideal athlete is someone who is seeking out coaching and they're interested because they see a value in you as a person and as a coach. They see that value that that you're inspiring them and that they see the value in you, that they want to be part of that.
Right.
And that's just, one aspect of an ideal athlete. Like, it wasn't like I was seeking out like, oh, I'm going to make sure she knows I'm a coach or anything like that. We were just friends. She was watching her Augusta people. I was watching my people. And we just the conversation just flowed. We got along initially right from the beginning. Like right when I asked her, where's the dry clothes bag? You look like you were in a relay. You may know some information. Please help me.
Right.
And we just bonded, the communication and the relationship just unfolded naturally.
Right. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about people like that is, yeah, it'd be awesome to coach her and help her find her potential, but you also have a like cool athlete friend that you guys can touch base with, maybe see each other at races.
Right. And she's interested. She's from Georgia, so she knows all about the Northern Georgia mountains. And she brought up, trail running. And I'm like, let's meet up in the Northern Georgia mountains and go for a run or a hike or whatever. So there's definitely some things we have in common. And, it was fun talking to her because she's a local and there's all these alligator sightings. And I'm like, are these real? Like, really? I'm like, is there really alligators? And she's like, yes. They do group swims and the alligators have been chased off by the kayakers.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, I kind of thought people were just kidding.
Right.
But hearing it from a local, I'm like, okay, so this is this is not an AI generated picture. This is a real picture of an alligator on the log in the water that we just swam in. And she's like, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah. So yeah, it's just, a new friend is great.
That is awesome. Yeah, I have a couple people that we don't really keep in touch throughout the year. Maybe if we see each other on social media, doing a race, but then we'll see each other at a race and be connected at the hip. That happened at T100 last year. This girl that she's in an age group older than me and she always wins her age group. She's really fast and I can't even remember where she lives. But we we follow each other on social media. And then we just happened because I didn't go last year to T100 with anyone. So I didn't know anyone and neither did she, but we saw each other before the swim start. And then we basically hung out the whole time before, saw each other on the course, hung out at awards, and it was really fun.
Yeah, nice.
So it's good to have those people. So as Wendy mentioned, we are going to talk about sleep. And we do talk about sleep quite a bit on this podcast because we both believe it's one of the most important aspects of health, wellness, longevity, and just feeling great. But not only do we believe that, but there is so much research on sleep and it's becoming increasingly important. And so instead of just saying, because I feel like we've said that 100 times, but instead of just saying, you guys, sleep, go to bed at the same time every night, get enough sleep, sleep's important. We wanted to kind of break down, we also mentioned sleep hygiene a lot, but what is sleep hygiene? What are the components of sleep hygiene? What are the elements that make a good night's sleep? Some of the more specifics so that if you haven't done the reading yourself or the research yourself and you just hear Wendy and I just shouting out now and again, like she said 5 minutes ago, I go to bed and wake up every single night and morning at the same time. And you're like, oh, well, that's cool, but is that really that important? So we wanted to kind of go over sleep hygiene, what that means, and some of the aspects of what sleep hygiene is.
So my husband just finally said, because he's been getting a lot of sleep lately, because he's been practicing better sleep hygiene himself, it's a game changer, and especially as we age. So again, the simplest definition, what I like to think of with sleep hygiene is, again, going to bed around the same time, waking up at the same time, even on the days that you don't have to. Like a weekend, let's say your weekend schedule's different, and I'm always praying, oh my gosh, I hope I sleep past 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I'm not someone who gets up at 4:30 in the morning every day and goes on their long ride or long run. I mean, I get my long stuff in during the week. My weekends are very light training days. I like to sleep. I like to recover. Sometimes I have to get up and go to a swim meet, but I'm always praying, can I sleep past 6? Sometimes I just lay in bed until 7 because the sun's not up. So it's a little bit easier, but it's still dark out. But I'm still usually up sleeping into me maybe 5:30.
Yeah.
But again, if you're someone who does let's say the 9 to 5 sleep Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends you go to bed at midnight and you sleep till 10, that messes up your sleep hygiene, that messes up your circadian rhythm, that just messes things up. So if you really wanted to create a challenge for yourself, even on the weekends, try to maintain, as much as possible. I mean, you're going to go to parties, you're going to go to events, you're going to get home late. It messes me up because even on the days, like let's say a Friday night, I'm going to my stepson's hockey game, or I'm going somewhere else and I get home between 10 and midnight, I still wake up at 5.
Right.
Like my body is still used to waking up early, even though I went to bed later. That doesn't mean if I go to bed 3 hours later, that doesn't mean I'm going to sleep 3 hours later. My body is still into that rhythm. So that's why it's really a non-negotiable for me to always focus on that generally 9 to 5, 9 p.m., 5 a.m. sleep pattern.
Yeah. And that's actually one of the top, if you pull up a list of sleep hygiene, the 10 commandments of sleep hygiene, that will always come up as the first thing is go to bed at the same time every day, wake up at the same time every day. And I know it's challenging. Like when I don't have my daughter 2 to 3 nights a week. So I never have her Wednesday and Thursday night. Wednesday night, I don't get off work till 8:30. So for me to try to like get home, eat, shower, do all that, I like lay in bed. I'm like, just go to sleep, because it's later than my normal. And then on Thursday when I don't have her, I'm like, oh, I want to get so much stuff done because she's not here. Because her and I go to bed at the same time every night that I have her. So if she's not here, I'm like, oh, I want to stay up and get stuff done. In the past like year, I've been really forcing myself to still go to bed around the same time because I understand how important it is.
Yeah, I mean, like this weekend, I had a very long day on Sunday. I was still up at 3:30, 4 a.m. like the athletes were. I was walking around all over the place. I stayed for awards to see Frank get on the podium. And then I drove home. I got home at 8:30. My fueling was off. Everything was off that day. And I knew it. I knew what was going to happen. I woke up exhausted, hungover on Monday, but I still woke up at 5. I still did my normal Monday routine with the workouts and the work schedule, but I was exhausted. It carried over into Tuesday. Like Tuesday, I actually woke up to the alarm. Like the alarm woke me up at 5. I wasn't ready to get up. And so I knew I wasn't recovered.
Right.
I was moody. I was cranky. And I probably still went to bed at like 9:30 on Tuesday night. Wednesday comes around. I didn't sleep well. I was moody. I was cranky. And so Wednesday night, I went to bed at 8:30. And so far Thursday, I feel awesome because I just creep my bedtime up a little bit sooner. And because I'm not recovered. I need it. I need the sleep, and it just changes everything.
Right.
So does
one
fueling,
thing,
but sleep does.
you're like, I need to do that. You need to do that on your own.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting for me is, so 2 months ago, I started wearing my Whoop, and it tracks your sleep. Like it just tracks your heart rate, your breath rate, your HRV, your skin temperature, and your pulse ox. And it tracks those things throughout the night. And it'll tell you exactly what Wendy did on her own. So if you're someone who's like, I don't know how to figure this out, if you don't get enough sleep the night before, and it tracks your light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and awake time. And then it, gives you little charts and graphs. And depending on how you fuel, what your workouts are that day, and if you're lacking sleep, it'll give you, this is what time you should go to bed tonight. And if you ignore, like if it says, based on, you put in your wake up time. And so let's say Sunday, it said, go to bed at 9:30, but you didn't. And you were up and you already lacked sleep the night before. Then the next day, especially with you walking around all day and being dehydrated and stuff, it might be like, okay, now you have to go to bed at 8:30. But you didn't. You still went to bed at 9:30. So then the next day, it's like, now you have to go to bed at 8. And then, so it kind of gives you all the data that Wendy just knows from listening to her body. This has happened before, and she corrected it within 3 days. That's kind of what Whoop does, if you look at the data, it'll tell you, no, you did too much. You didn't hydrate well. You didn't your nutrition was all off. Now you have to go to bed earlier. It's like almost
Yeah.
like a punishment. Like you did it wrong. Now you got to go to bed earlier. So it's really interesting because a couple weeks ago, I picked my sister up from the airport at 12:30 a.m. And so I asked Chat GPT, I told them my situation and said, is it better for me to go to bed at my regular time, get a couple hours of sleep, go get her, possibly risk not being able to go back to sleep right away? Or should I just stay up, go get her, then I'm really tired and then I can sleep all day? Because I didn't have a busy day the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And Chat GPT, just like we're saying, said, go to bed at your regular time, sleep for 2 hours, pick up your sister from the airport, and then try to go back to bed after. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I did that. I went to bed at 9:30 or 9:45. I think I went to bed at 9:30, slept till 11:30. Got up, picked her up, dropped her off at my mom's house, got back to bed around 2, slept until 8. And it was interesting because my Whoop only does it counted that I only slept 2 hours that night, but then took a 6-hour nap. So the night before, right that next day, it was like, you did not get enough sleep, but then it recorded my nap for the next day. So the next day I was back in the green.
Yeah.
Because I caught up. So what are some other things that are on your sleep hygiene list? I made a list of 14. So why don't you go with a couple and I'll go with a couple.
Limit caffeine and or alcohol. I mean, like for me, if I have like half a glass to a glass of wine, that puts me out. Like if I'm on the verge and I'm like just a little bit, it puts me out. I don't drink excessively. Maybe I do that maybe once or twice a week. But I definitely don't drink caffeine. We've talked about this before. I try not to drink any caffeine after 2 p.m. To help me make sure I'm tired at 8:30, 9:30 p.m. at night. And so that's huge.
So
also,
can I mention something about that before you move on? 2 things, because I read this book. I've mentioned it before. To me, it's the hands down sleep Bible. It's called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. It's just research and data and why. It's why these are important. So I used to think because if I drank caffeine before bed, I could still fall asleep. So to me, caffeine didn't affect my sleep because I could drink caffeine and fall right asleep. But all the research shows that caffeine's half-life is, I don't remember, I don't want to mess it up, but I think it's like 8 hours. So that means it takes 8 hours for half the caffeine to get out of your system. So like Wendy said, she has her last caffeine at 2, or I've been cutting down my caffeine and having my last caffeine before 4. It's been like 2 or 3. So for 8 hours, half that caffeine is gone. But then it's still another 8 hours before it halves again. So what it does is it doesn't necessarily keep you from falling asleep, because it didn't for me. So I thought caffeine didn't affect me. It affects your deep sleep. And so if you take caffeine close to bedtime, even if you fall asleep right away, it will still affect your sleep so that your sleep is not as deep. And it's the deep sleep and the REM sleep that help you feel recovered and that help your body recover and that help you feel fresh and awake. So that's the caffeine thing that I learned from this book. And then the alcohol thing, because that's a big thing, because people are like, well, alcohol's a depressant, so wouldn't that help? And the problem is what alcohol does is it affects your REM sleep. So alcohol disturbs your REM sleep. And again, it's your deep sleep plus your REM sleep that is the like be all, say all, how you feel when you sleep. Because you can sleep for 10 hours, but if you only have like 2 hours total of REM sleep and deep sleep out of that whole time, your body is not going to recover. So that alcohol, even though people say, oh, it's a depressant, it helps me relax, it helps me fall asleep, it still affects your sleep if you have it close to bedtime. just like food does, just like drinking too much water or too many electrolytes or caffeine. All of these things too close to bedtime, even if they don't feel like they affect you, there's so much data that shows that they do affect your sleep.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of knew that.
Yeah. So,
So
but this book, if anyone's interested, it actually goes into why and the research and the data, in case you're like, because like me was saying like, oh, caffeine doesn't affect me. I wouldn't have ever known that. It really did if I wouldn't have like learned about it that way.
yeah, thank
So
you
what
for
are some other ones?
limiting blue light, phone, computer. I started because I started reading a lot at night. 8 o'clock, I put my phone on the charger. I put it on do not disturb if it's not already on that, and I read. Or if like Don and I are into some sports games, which no one made the playoffs, so that's kind of over. All our sport events that we used to watch. And so for those people who are constantly either on their computers or their phones, that could be impacting their sleep hygiene. And so getting in that habit of shutting things down with that's the blue light issue.
Have you
And there
ever
was one,
used like have you ever used like the blue light blocker?
no, I don't even know what that is.
It's so I haven't, but I need to, because I do view my screen right before bed every night. Like I check my schedule, I check my message. Like that's, to me, in my mind, I'm quote winding down.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you, because that's one of the things on the sleep hygiene list is don't do that close to bedtime. But there's things you can buy called blue blockers that you can like, they have them in glasses
Uh-huh.
or something you can put over the screen to help filter out that specific light that is supposed to be really bad for sleep hygiene.
Right. And I think the fourth thing that I know, and there's probably more, but temperature control, climate in the area that you're sleeping. Like Dawn likes it cold. I like it warm. I don't. Who wants to be hot at night? But I would prefer heat over cold.
Right.
I am someone who, yeah, I love cold plunging. I love being cold under my control, but at night I don't want to be cold. And so it tends to usually be a little cooler for me, but then I just have enough blankets that I need to be comfortable. And that helps me relax more when I'm a little bit warmer. So whatever, everyone's a little different, but climate control definitely impacts, it has to, is part of the sleep hygiene.
Yeah. In that book, it says 65 degrees is like the magic number that all the data shows. So keeping your room or your house at 65 degrees, which again, if you're sleeping with someone who is different, because so I keep mine at 64. I started going down to 65 after I read that book. I read it like 4 years ago. And I was still too warm, because I like really heavy blankets, because I like feeling like, because weighted blankets is a really like comforting thing. So I like a lot of blankets, and then I still got too hot. So for the last couple of years, I've been at 64. I've adapted to it. Cora, she's just always slept with whatever I sleep with. We sleep with a lot of noise, and we sleep in the cold. But a couple years ago, I was staying in a hotel with my friend Kat, and she gets cold so easily. And she has, I don't know what the disease is called, but where your fingers get white.
Raynaud's.
Yes.
Raynaud's disease.
Yeah. So she has that. And so she like can't even be in cold. And so we were staying in a hotel room together, and just, we weren't even thinking about this, but she picked the bed. It was right next to like the thing in hotels that spits out either hot or cold. And Cora and her son were in that bed, and me and Cora were in the other bed. And I was burning up. I couldn't even sleep. So I went and like, I turned the air conditioning on, and then she was like shivering, and she's like, so we're like, we need to, because we've actually been talking about buying a house together in the next few years. And I was like, we gotta decide on some temperature thing, because it's a big deal for temperature.
Yeah.
For sleep hygiene. So 65 is supposedly the magic number. What were those the ones that you had?
I just had those. I'd like you to speak up about just all the benefits, why we talk about sleep so much. What is
I will.
happening
I
with
want to
sleep?
mention a couple more sleep hygiene things.
Okay.
One is exercise, get regular exercise, but if you exercise too close to bedtime, then your heart rate might stay up too high, or your metabolism might be burning more fuel, and it's harder to settle down and calm down. So that's one
That's a good
thing, is
one.
exercising too close to bedtime. So if at all possible, try to make some space between when you exercise. If you are exercising hard and it's closer to bedtime, maybe do a longer cool down, maybe do some yoga or stretching or meditation or foam rolling or something where you're like coming down after. Another one that that they mention in the book that was really interesting to me is taking a hot shower or a hot bath before bedtime. And they talk about, because I take a shower every night before bed because I don't want to have to wash my sheets very often. It's because I'm lazy, not because I'm trying to get good sleep hygiene. But something about it's counterintuitive for a lot of people, but something about your body heat getting hot, and then it releases so that you're calm down and cool down for bed. So that's actually one of the things they talk about in the book. Um,
I've also learned, and again, I because the science was there, cold showers before sleep.
Well, the reason they say in that book, they say not cold showers because your body will react to cold by getting hotter.
Yeah,
To
I don't
create
know.
heat.
I don't know off the
Yeah.
top of my head where this is from. I believe this is from Wim Hof when I first started
Yeah.
learning about cold plunging and all that, and other experts. But I can't speak more than what I just said.
Yeah. And um like with cold plunging and cold showers, I heard that in the morning, they're really good to wake you up and to get everything going. Just like for sleep hygiene, light. It's like the same thing as light and dark. So that's really important. So first thing in the morning, like opening the blinds or going outside and exposing your eyes to natural sunlight will help your circadian rhythm, because it teaches your body this is the time to wake up. And
Hmm.
it's the same with dark. So the darker your room is at night, if you can wear an eye shield without that disturbing you, that's going to create deeper sleep, and your room will be more your room. The darkness of the room or the eye shade will help your body say, okay, this is nighttime, because it's all about our circadian rhythm, which is all messed up because we don't operate as get up with the sun, go to bed with the sun in our lives.
Hmm.
Like, no, nobody's job is like, oh, it'll just change with the season. Like, get up when the sun comes up and then go to bed when the sun goes down. A couple other ones that um I've read about is your bed is just for sleep and intimacy. So you shouldn't be eating in bed, watching TV in bed, doing your phone in bed. Like, have your bedroom be a place for either sleep or intimacy. And so when you go into your room, you know these things are happening. Not like right now, my desk is in my room. So when I go in my room isn't a sleep sanctuary. My room is my workstation, my sleep sanctuary, my child's sleep sanctuary. It's the my laundry folding station. Like, that's not good sleep hygiene. And then and then the other one that they talk about in the book is limit your naps to earlier in the afternoon if you're a napper, because
Right.
if you nap too close to bedtime, that could, especially if it's starting to get dark, like in the winter, if you take a 5 o'clock nap, it's dark at 5. So even if you nap for 20 minutes, your body is already ready for bed. So
Right.
that could also disturb your sleep. So those are the things that I can think of that I've read about, mostly from that book. That's where I learned most of my sleep stuff. But
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm with Wendy. The other interesting thing, and then we'll close off, is I've always, and like Wendy's like, oh, I go to bed at 9:30 and wake up at 4:30. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is not enough sleep. I always was the person who's like, I need 9 or 10 hours of sleep. And I always have been like, I need so much sleep. So what's been really interesting about wearing my Whoop is it keeps track of what types of sleep you're getting throughout the night. And when I, like last night, I slept 9 hours and 10 minutes was my sleep time. But when it takes out all the times I was awake, I only slept, it was like, it's usually like right under 8 hours. So I have to sleep over 9 hours to get 7 hours and 53 minutes of sleep. And it makes so much sense now because I'm always like, why do I need so much sleep? And it's just because I wake up, my body wakes up so much during the night that when I take up all my wake up time, I'm still only getting that 7 to 9 hours, which is recommended.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to do 8 to 10 hours to get my 7 to 9 hours of real sleep. So it's a good thing to be aware of. Like Wendy said, you can either, like, if you wake up feeling good, this is the first morning she's woke up feeling good in 3 days. So now she knows, okay, I'm quote caught up on my sleep. Or if you like something that tracks data so you can get more information, there's lots of sleep apps that you can just put a sleep app on your phone. And depending on whatever your wearable you're doing, or I used to do this one, they still have it, but now you have to pay for it. So I didn't do it, but I checked it out like a few months ago. You just put your phone, you open the app and you put your phone next to you on the bed. And it would track your movement and then like your breath rate and like your noises. Like if you snore, it would like track things like that. It's just interesting data. So there's a lot of stuff out there if you guys want to explore.
Right. And, we should have said this in the beginning, why sleep matters as an athlete and just someone who's non-athletic. It just helps with recovery, muscle repair. You release human growth hormone at night when you're sleeping. So it does provide some hormonal imbalance. It helps your immune system because it helps you recover. It helps longevity. As we age, we need more recovery. We need more sleep. Most older folks tend to go to bed earlier because they wake up earlier. So your sleep hygiene of when you go to bed and when you wake up will change as you get older. I mean, I used to be the one who used to deliver pizza. I'd get to home at 4 a.m. and I'd still sleep till 8. I would only sleep till 8 because I wanted to get up because I had so much I wanted to do in the day. But I could get away with it because I was younger. I can't get away with it now that I'm in my 50s. And I think more importantly, just your mental wellness. I feel more focus, which gives me more energy, which I just have more energy to do the things I want to do within my day when I get good sleep. When I don't, I'm foggy. I feel like I have PMS symptoms and I don't PMS anymore, but I feel foggy. I feel low energy. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm depressed, but it leads into that little bit of like fatigue, depression, like ugh feeling. And all I need is sleep, and I get over all that. So again, I don't have any of that depression stuff like some people do have, but I do get the ugh, and I know exactly why. I mean, for crying out loud, I was crying all day yesterday. Why? I was tired.
Right.
It was lack of nutrition. I hadn't caught up from nutritionally, and I was tired, and I just could not control those emotional outbreaks of crying. And I'm like, this happens 2 or 3 times a year. It used to happen more when I had my menstrual cycle. And my husband's like, what are you, PMSing? And I'm like, no, not in 4 years. This is just I told him, I said, I just have not been getting enough sleep. Even though I feel like I've been getting plenty of sleep, it just hasn't been enough. Like you need 9 to 10 hours. I usually don't, but I need more than I was giving myself. And so I just feel like a completely different person today than I did yesterday.
Right. And I want to add to that, for me personally, when I don't get enough sleep, I eat really crappy food because I use food to give me the energy that sleep would have provided for me.
I used to do that too, and I recognize it, and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. And so a lot of times if I don't get enough sleep, I'll eat crappier foods. I'll eat more food because again, that calories are energy. And if you don't have enough natural energy from getting enough sleep and, the other things, the nutrients and stuff, like for me, I was like, oh, I need food to stay awake. Or caffeine. It used to be caffeine was the big one, but the last 2 weeks I've cut down. I talked about that last week, and I'm still down, holding strong to my 3 caffeines a day. But I used to be like, just keep it going. And I would drink like 6 more things of caffeine because I was tired.
Yeah.
So, and then I also am very short, not tempered, but I get like annoyed easily.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have a 7-year-old that's like, mom, if I don't get enough sleep, like I'm like, oh my God, this child is so annoying. And I work with people all day, same things. My kids that I coach, if I'm tired and they're like being annoying, like pulling on the lane lines and like ducking each other underwater while I'm talking, I'm like, but when I'm well rested, well nourished, well hydrated, those things don't really bother me. So, any final words of wisdom?
No, I think we covered it all. Just get sleep. Just prioritize it. You just got to make it a priority.
Prioritize it. And Wendy mentions this all the time. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have a lot we want to do. We all have full, busy lives. We all have people and jobs and families that we need and want to take care of. But we get to decide what our priorities are.
Right.
Did you have a listener question?
No, I just kind of had that listener comment that I wanted to talk about. That was it.
About the sleep?
Yeah.
I think we talked about sleep a lot.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about coming up this week?
I do have a swim meet this weekend. It'll be our first meet of the short course season. I have most of my kids going. There's 2 that didn't get in. They told me after the fact, and I'm like, it's too late. And this time I actually couldn't get them in because Lifetime had too many kids that they were trying to take out. Normally I could get them in. And I'm just like, learning opportunity. I've been asking you guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you didn't get in. So that's the price you pay. And so I'm kind of excited because, again, the first short course meet of the season. So it'll be exciting to see how the kids do.
Yeah. Well, since I don't have my race, because that would have been definitely what I was most excited about. Not only the race, I was really excited to I was going to drive to St. George today, see my St. George friends, drive to Vegas tomorrow, short drive, go to Lifetime, swim outside, hang out in the recovery thing. I was car camping. I was just going to do the whole relax vacation before my race, prep for my race. So instead, I am excited to get a lot of stuff done in the next 4 days. I already spent 2 hours prepping food from this garden thing, this farm that my daughter went to.
Mm-hmm.
So much. It was it took me 2 hours to wash. I had to scrub everything and prep it. So I did that this morning and then did about an hour and a half of laundry. I'm in the process of washing my bedding. So I'm just excited to kind of get those 4 days I asked for where I have no plans and I'm going to just get caught up on life.
Good.
Yay.
That's the best.
I know. All right, you guys. Well, if you have any other sleep suggestions, I'm always learning about sleep because it's so important. We would love to hear your experiences and your good sleep hygiene tips as well. So if you guys have some, let us know. And anything else, Wendy?
Make it a great day.
All right. Thanks for being here. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Wellness Made Easy with Wendy and Kirsten.
If you want to learn more about us or anything we talked about today, check out the links in our show notes.
We would love to know what you think of our podcast and what you want more of. So drop us a comment, send us a message, and help us out by leaving us a rating and a review.
And don't forget to let us know your wellness win for this week.
Thanks for listening.
Make it a great day.